Yeah, we're here to talk a bit about Yam's Vinyasa Yoga teacher training. It's a format that we've been doing for 4 years now, and we do like a summer intensive and usually also a winter edition. The content in itself is the same, so this presentation will cover our general Vinyasa Yoga teacher trainings. But the details I'm going to share today specifically is for our summer training coming up in 2025. So yeah, I'm going to start out with just presenting a little bit about YUM, because I know that usually when we do these webinars, it's not always people that have been there physically to see and experience the place. So I'm going to take you through a short presentation of the place so you can get a sense of the atmosphere and what the place is all about. And then we're going to go more into practicalities and formalities and answering questions, and you're very welcome to just raise a hand if you have any questions along the way. Also, there's going to be a Q&A session in the end, so you can also just write down your questions and we can take them all together. So yeah, I'll just get started. Good. So I'm just going to move here. Yes. So as you see, YUM is located by the water. It's by the Copenhagen harborfront, and it's a special place in a sense because we have a fully functioning normal cafe, if you might say, and a yoga studio, and they are combined under the same roof. This gives us a room of Zen, a room of yoga, a room of deep connection, paired with a room that is about community, social activity, being together, enjoying the sun, enjoying the water, eating food, nurturing our bodies and our social social values. So YUM is many things. It's a place. I'm sorry, I just got a confirmation from another participant. It's a place that embodies a whole lot. In a sense, it's a place that welcomes people as they are. We're often told that when different people from different cultures, backgrounds, countries come to YUM, they feel like they can be themselves. And this is, I always get the chills when they come in and say this, because it's an important value for us. It's also a value that is integrated in the yoga philosophy, which is that we are a unity, and being non-judgmental in our approach to life. People is really important to build into everything we do. So I'm very proud that that is the sense that people get. And that also means we have a lot of diversity. It's a very international spot. People live in the area, come from many different countries, but also the staff, the yoga teachers, the members. Like, it's just a very kind of international hub. And another thing that people often say is that it feels like being on holiday when you are there. And a reason for this is that we have a perfect location where the sun is in the sky all the day. We have the water just outside. We have kind of a Bali-inspired interior, nice colors, plants hanging from the ceiling. And this all together just mixes up as this very kind of nice frame to be, whether it's for yoga, cafe, or a combination. Yeah, so here's kind of a few more words on what we envision. We envision a world where YUM is the antidote to life's heaviness, where we find the light in the dark together, and where laughter soundtrack to conscious living. With a dash of delicious humor, we're on a mission to inspire people to awaken their inner YUM, cultivating a harmonious blend of awareness, joy, and purpose that nourishes both their souls and the planet, creating a more YUM-believable and heartwarming existence, one smile at a time. So we have a very light approach to the things we do. We take the things we do also very seriously, but we believe that it's possible to kind of combine these things and approach also the serious matters in a sense where we are together and where we are allowed to smile and have fun. So specifically for the training that I'm talking about today, like I said, the content, the teachers, everything I'm going to talk about will apply to our coming trainings as well. Right now, the details for the coming training is that we have a 6.5 summer intensive coming up. It will start the 5th of July and it will end on the 17th of August. It's taught in English, and for the summer format, we do both weekends and weekdays. So the way it's built up, I'm going to show you a timetable in a second, but it is that you have like a starting weekend, then you have 4 weeks where you are there Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, which means that you have days off in between during the week. And then we end with 2 finalizing weekends. So what a lot of people do is that they spend some of their holiday time actually doing this training. And then if there's some weeks they cannot cover, maybe they have some flexibility at work, or we've seen many different solutions to this, but what we also have seen is that this format is actually quite, it's popular because it's dedicated in a short amount of time without still being fully crammed. You still have time to stay present with your life and potentially also work or whatever you might have. There is kind of air built into this quite intensive format. And also you can if you want to become a teacher, not everyone does, but if you want to, you can actually be ready to start teaching when we reach mid-August, which is quite soon, right? So yeah, we've seen that there's a great interest for this format. So yeah, I'm going to tell more about the timetable, like I said. The curriculum is a 170 pages manual. It's an exclusive YUM manual. It's written by the teacher team and coordinated by YUM. And it's our exclusive manual, but at the same time, it has been approved by Yoga Alliance. And I don't know how much each of you knows about Yoga Alliance. We can also go into that. But just generally speaking, Yoga Alliance is the one and only international institution giving kind of standardized approvals or security that there is an approved foundation for the training format. So they have gone through all the contents and have said that for this a teacher training with this name, you are covering the things you need to cover with the right amount of time and like this. So yeah, and other than the manual, we also have a reading list that is curated by the teacher team, which means if you are signing up for the training, you get this reading list already when you sign up, and you can start already digging into some of the resources that are also the foundation for the manual. So, or you can use the reading list afterwards. Finally, the certificate you get if you finalize to the level needed. You get a certificate that is Yoga Alliance certified, which means that there's a stamp, the one you see up in the corner here, from Yoga Alliance. And what this basically means is 2 things. You can, first of all, apply to become a registered yoga teacher with Yoga Alliance. And this is a whole kind of system that some teachers go into in order to create their CV, you might say, or like their resume, because here you will be dedicated to that teacher path, and there are some requirements for you to stay a registered yoga teacher with Yoga Alliance. The other thing is that this is the stamp that is known not only in Copenhagen but also internationally. So in case you want to take your teachings outside the borders of Denmark and it's someone that does not know what YUM is, they can see that the training has been approved by Yoga Alliance, which can open doors. Just one thing, I am looking at a screen which is not the meeting screen. So if you're raising your hand, I might not see it. So if you can turn on your voice and just, it's okay that you interrupt me, just say hi or something, and then I will, I will give you some space to ask your questions. So here's the timetable breakdown. And like I said before, we start week 1 is a Saturday and a Sunday. We've placed it midday for 5 to 7 hours a day. The midday sessions provide you the possibility to spend your mornings like you prefer. Maybe you are you are like a what is it called in English? You like to sleep late. And that is very important for your restitution. Others are maybe fully charged and just need to go out and start with their practice or meet with friends or be with family. So starting midday around 12 or 1, and then it ends also early in the evening by 7 or 8 the latest, which will also provide you some time to get home, have some time to rest and or spend the time with family or what you need. So the first week is just a Saturday and a Sunday. Then for the second, third, fourth, and fifth week, we go into this Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday schedule. All the weekdays are like a regular working hour day. So these are from 9 to 4. And the Saturdays are like the first week from midday until the evening. And then when we get to the final weeks, which are now in August, it will be only Saturdays and Sundays again. So in theory, if you have to work 1 week, 2 week, maybe all of these weeks, but you have flexibility, there will be off days on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Yeah, and also you will of course be off after 4. And also the fully updated timetable is available at the website, where you can see specifically, for example, for the weekdays, what are the time slots, and yeah, so everything is available. So a typical training day at your local Bali living room. So here I'd like to explain a little bit about like what's going on a given day as a teacher training student at YUM. So we have these holiday and Bali vibes all the way. The training days are a maximum of 4 to 8 hours per day, like I explained before. You will have 2 to 3 breaks during the day. And what happens here most often is that either the group from the teacher training, they eat their lunch together, or they stay in the group and socialize. Or, and I always encourage this, that some of the breaks you take on your own and you sit by the water and you maybe do a meditation or journaling or kind of do whatever you need individually. We have the perfect surroundings to do what you prefer. Yeah, so spending the breaks wisely is definitely a good tip of mine. Typically you will have 1 teacher per day, and the reason for this is that it might be nice sometimes to have like different energies coming in, but it also takes away the possibility to go really deep on the given days. So we have decided that it's typically 1 teacher per day, might be 2 teachers on some days, and then you are very like dedicated to a topic, so you don't have to kind of go between different topics and become maybe a bit in focus, because it's a lot to take in from the different themes. So it will typically be with 1 teacher, but at the same time, they are also doing their best to mix up the days. So they will also put in like, maybe they do a meditation, maybe they do an actual practice, which is not like a classroom session for the training, but just more like a regular yoga practice. I know that Agni, one of the teachers, sometimes take the group on a walk. There's many different variations, and also there will both be like the practical sessions where you do the more physical lessons, and you will have the more theoretical where you sit down and you take your notes and open your ears. So we try to put variation into the training days. Then there will be either on the given day or in between the training days, you will have self-practice. This can be classic yoga classes, or you can mix it up, at least at Yum, with aerial yoga, sub-surf yoga, or our retreat sessions, if you keep it there. You can also do other self-practice sessions, and we can talk more about that a little bit later. Like I said before, in every sense, make the best of the surroundings and the location, because this is such a big part of your each and every single day at Yum. Also, there's a great possibility to enjoy the community vibe and create social connection. It's a very kind of open space also in that sense. There's so many great people that are interested actually in connecting, maybe because it's very international, I don't know. And then, of course, you will sip and savor your own healthy snacks or lunchbox, so you will get a discount on the Yum menu card, and you can just enjoy and nourish yourself during the day in this way. So I will talk a little bit about the teacher team now. And this is a group of teachers. It's Kostis, Marianne, Agni, and Max. They are in themselves a great presentation of the fact that Yum is a very diverse place. Because these four individuals are very different in every sense. They come from different countries, different cultures. They have different backgrounds, competencies. They are very different in their personalities and in their teaching styles. But this is exactly how it's supposed to be, and this is curated on purpose because it's important for us to show that there is many versions of many ways yoga can be represented. It's not only like the Instagram version of a yoga teacher. Like, it has many faces, and this teacher team definitely represents this. And also, it will give some variation also to the training, that it's not like one single teacher with one personality. You will get like many different kinds of input. And yeah, this is just an important point. Also, yeah, I can go into them individually. I will not go very deep into this. You're welcome to ask more questions, but I want to give you just a little bit of a sense of their different skills and personalities. So Kostis is the lead teacher. He's the one that hosts the most hours on the training. We call him the master of precision and presence. He is definitely the one that is mostly focused on discipline, and this comes from a pure intention and ambition to take his students to the level that is needed to go out and actually start guiding others in the practice of yoga. He takes this responsibility seriously, which means that he has, like I said, a high ambition. And this is it's very good, because it is important for us that we don't put anyone out on the street with a certificate and them not being able to actually guide others in a responsible manner. It's important that they themselves have the self-confidence to step into the role, and they feel also ready for that. So it's just a really good investment to have someone that kind of pushes you a bit and requires your attention and dedication. He's at the same time very sweet. And sorry, I think another person is joining the meeting. I'll just let her in. It's Anna. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the presentation. You just missed the beginning, but no worries. I will continue from here, and we can always follow up individually afterwards if you just need the first part of the presentation. Okay. Good. So I was explaining about the teacher team, and now we've gone through Kostis, the lead teacher, and his personality and his role in the training. I was just about to say that he's a very warm person. He has a lot of humor in him, and yeah, I know he values to connect on that level as well. Then we have Marianne, and I would say that there is no better person to take anyone through the anatomy and biomechanics and its relation to yoga. So Marianne, we call her the anatomical genius who unites science and mentoring. She's a PhD doctor, and she is a very, very gifted communicator, which means that she really is a strong asset in terms of teaching students about the body and how it works and what to look out for. So with her, you can feel really comfortable also that you're going to get professional training with her. And yeah, she has approximately 40 hours of the training. And then there's Agni, and he is the person I know personally that is the most authentic and embodied yogi. He came from Nepal. I think it's approximately 5 years ago now. He started working at Yum 4 years ago. But he came straight from a different culture, and he is indeed the authenticity that I'm very proud to have part of the training, because he did not grow up in the Western culture and learn it along the way. He grew up with the yogic philosophy. He is a very wise human being, and he is so kind, humble, and like he says, he's not a teacher himself, he's a student. He will always be. So this humbleness is just very nice to be around. He's a very kind person, and yeah, he knows everything about the philosophy, the history, meditation, and pranayama, which are the course themes that he is teaching you. He knows it in and out, and yeah, he comes with these golden nuggets all the time about how to approach life according or from the yogic philosophy. With that being said, we do not treat yoga. He does not, and we do not from Yum treat yoga as a religion. It's a training where we have a very big respect for the tradition, for the philosophy, and for the values that are integrated in it. But in general, we don't like to say that there is a lot of rules on what is the right style of yoga, or that this is the only way of living, or so that is important to say also about Agni, that he's not putting anything like he's not claiming or what do you say, requiring of you to be a fully embodied yogi. There is a very big respect for our different standpoints, and that we ourselves can choose how much to go into these things. But as a yoga teacher, it's very important to know about what is the foundation of yoga, where does it come from, what is the philosophy about, and most likely you're gonna slowly find out that there is maybe some things that you will be able to or want to adapt in your life, and maybe inspire others with that. And then we have Max. He's the playful maestro who brings movement to life. He is definitely a movement nerd, and he's curious on how to take alternative movement practices into yoga. So he only has a small part of the curriculum, and the main focus that he has actually is about learning how to do hands-on adjustments with students. And then he has a few inspirational hours, which are not part of kind of the curriculum and not the way you are supposed to teach, but we're just giving a few playful hours here and there with him in order to give you some inspiration, move your body in a different way, and just stir it up a little bit. So altogether, this teacher team is diversity at its core. And like we say here, you're guided and embraced by a multifaceted team that values diversity, inclusivity, growth, and ambition. You'll experience yoga through different lenses, bringing together science and soul, tradition and modernity, discipline and play. And the goal is, of course, to help you discover your own authentic voice as a teacher and as a human being. So if we look at like the overall umbrella, what you'll learn on yoga teacher training like this is how to teach and guide others on the yogic path. And maybe I should have added in here also how to teach and guide yourself, because you're also learning that. And a lot of people actually come to this training for personal development reasons and not specifically wanting to teach. This is kind of a 50-50 ratio. Some is very dedicated that they want to start teaching afterwards, and others are not there for that purpose at all, and others are in between, kind of open to maybe teach one day, but also pretty much there to take their yogic journey to the next level. So we have like 3 overall themes that you are going through in the manual and in the curriculum and during the training. The first one is Vinyasa sequencing and asana alignments, and this is Kosti's part. It's approximately 80 hours, and he will be teaching these. I just give you some headlines here. Of course, there's a lot of bullets to all of these, but you will go through in headlines the philosophy of Vinyasa yoga, the core principles of sequencing, so how to make flowy sequences that are really good in their build-up. You will go through the arc structure of a yoga class. So how should you build it up? You will go deep into the sun salutations. Then you will have a list of 100 plus asanas that you will go through with Kostis. He has more than 5,000 hours of teacher practice. He's one of the most popular teachers at YUM. He's very, very good. So he will go through these asanas, make sure that the alignments are correct for each and every single one of you, and also learn you how to teach them, put them into your sequences, build the flow. Then we have hands-on adjustments in this part of the curriculum as well, and this is the one that Max will be teaching. Then we have anatomy and physiology, and this is approximately 40 hours. Here you will go through, it's a very structured plan, the body systems, the locomotor system, the nervous system, respiratory system, and the cardiovascular and circulatory system. And like I said before, this is Marianne's part of the curriculum. It's more theoretical, but she still makes sure to put in a lot of also physical practice to build in, like to give you the bridge between what you are hearing and learning about and how to translate that into the actual practice. She has a very good collaboration with Kostis, and you will see in the training. Then we have yoga history and humanities. Like I said before, Agni's part, approximately 35 hours. Here you will learn about the meaning of yoga history at a glance. Maybe you've heard about the 8 limbs of yoga. You will learn about yogic evolution, yogic techniques, and here it's specifically meditation and pranayama. And then you will learn how to integrate the philosophy into daily life. And this is an important bullet actually, because there's a lot of philosophy and things to learn, and but in a sense, what Agni really tries to put out is for you to learn how to adapt smaller or bigger initiatives coming from yoga into your life, because the more you go into that, the more you will also stand strong kind of in the embodiment of yoga, right? But also, like I said earlier, you are not kind of forced to do anything, and there's no right and wrong, but we are giving you the platform to explore and to be curious. And you will, for this training, pick up on the things that you are ready to pick up on, and other things you might not be for you at this moment. Maybe it will be a later point. You never know. Just have one more joining. Inga Marie, hello. I'll just continue the presentation, and if there's anything we need to follow up on that you miss, we can do it after the meeting. So in terms of the requirements for the training, there's no specific requirements for the preparation up until the training, but at the same time, there is some things that might be good for you to do. First of all, regardless of where you're currently at with your yoga practice, maybe you're practicing a lot, or maybe you've been away from it some time and want to pick up, it would be, in case you are joining the summer training or a training soon, preparing your body and mind by practicing will be good because you will prepare your body, your muscles, you will prepare your mind, you will prepare yourself in terms of habits and dedication. So just getting started, if you're not already having like a steady practice, will be a very good tool for you to get ready for the training. Also, other than that, we recommend, since it's an investment for every single individual, we really do recommend kind of just setting the expectations with yourself. So what do you kind of require from yourself in terms of going into this, and what will it require from your surroundings? And maybe you need to have conversations with friend or family if you really want to like go all in on this for 6.5 weeks. It might be needed for you to kind of make some agreements with your wife or husband, or let friends and family know that you're a bit more like you're in this for a while, and you're going to dedicate a lot of energy towards it. It might also be that you don't find you have the need for this, but I'm just saying that for some it will be a nice way to kind of make the starting point for going into this journey the best. Then there's the self-practice hours, and along with the training, there is a requirement to do 50 hours of self-practice. So it's 150 hours of classroom hours where you are adjunct with the teachers, and then there is an additional 50 hours for self-practice. But what we've done, since the training is only 6.5 weeks, it's going to be quite intense if you're going to do both the training hours and the 50 hours in those 6.5 weeks. So we've actually prolonged the period, which means that if you sign up for the training, we will allow for you to start making a log of your self-practice hours already from 1st of June, and also your free membership for the Yum Yoga schedule. So your ability to book classes will also kick in from 1st of June. So it's just so you know that it's not 50 hours within 6.5 weeks. It's actually 50 hours in between 1st of June and 17th of August. So that's 2.5 months instead. So that might help a little bit with the logistics and everything. Homework, there is homework. The curriculum, like I said, is 170 pages, and you can kind of divide that over 6.5 weeks to get a sense of how much might be per week. It will, of course, vary. And also, I will say that you will probably experience, because you come in from different starting points, you will experience that some parts will probably be very easy for you, or easily absorbed, or easy to understand. And then there might be other parts that you will struggle a bit more with. It will be more difficult for you to really comprehend or understand. And this, of course, makes it a bit impossible for me to give you an exact phrase on how much homework there is, because it will vary. It will also vary how deep you go into the homework, how perfectionistic you are. Yeah, there will be both homework to read. Sometimes there will be small assignments you need to do, and that might be written assignments, or that you have, for example, to when you get to that point, that you will start preparing your own small sequences and more practical homework. In terms of the attendance, we have set like a golden rule of thumb for the 200-hour training, which says that you cannot have more than 16 hours of absence. So this corresponds to approximately 2 to 3 days. Now, this rule is it's not harsh in a sense. The most important thing for us is to make sure that everyone that gets through, when they get to the end, they have learned the things they need to learn. So let's say that you become sick and you cannot attend for 4 days. We're not going to say you're out. First of all, we're going to do what we can to support you. And also, I know always the group of students is also very helpful, always with sharing notes and kind of helping each other. But we make individual plans in case for some reason you fall behind. Yeah, we do what we can to follow up and make sure that you will get to that finish line in the end. But of course, if you're missing out on half of the training and you are not learning the things that you need to learn, then we cannot provide a certificate to someone that have not been there. So we've set this 16-hour rule to give a little bit of a understanding of when do we find it critical. If you have more than 16 hours of absence, we need to be very present with whomever it is to make sure that that you follow up and learn the things you need to. And then there's the exam. And the exam is a 30-minute exam per person. It is an exam in front of the student group, so not with external or people, members, family, friends, nothing. It's only with the student group from the YTT, and then I am usually there, and some of the teachers are there. So what you do is that you have 15 minutes to begin with, which is kind of Agnes' exam. Where you set the frame for a given class. It might be a personal kind of theming of the class. It might come from the yogic philosophy, like you pull in whatever theme you would like to have for a class. And then you need to do short sessions of meditation and pranayama breathwork. And of course, you will learn about this when you're on the training, how to do that. But you will have 15 minutes for that. And then afterwards, you will have 15 minutes where you need to teach the group like you were a teacher in a yoga class. So you will make a small sequence. It's only 15 minutes. It usually goes by pretty fast. And you need to show during this demonstration that you are able to put the learnings into life, so to speak. For anatomy and biomechanics, there will be tests, like smaller tests along the way. So you will not have a kind of a written or theoretical exam. But of course, it will be like there will be different points where Marianne checks up on each one of you to make sure that you have learned what you need to learn. And then also for the final exam, of course, it's part of kind of the overall evaluation. If you say something that is completely off in terms of the anatomy or something like that, it will be something that we will definitely give a comment, right? So but then the exam is more like a class in a studio. So, questions I often get in terms of our trainings. I know that many people worry about the entry level. So the question is my current level enough to start a yoga teacher training? I'm sorry, I have a little bit with the throat. What we say to this is that, first of all, it's a foundational training, this Vinyasa yoga teacher training. So this means that you are not expected to be anything close to a teacher when you start. Our whole purpose is to make you a teacher and start your journey to become an expert within the field of yoga. So you do not need to be an expert in any sense. It's a foundational training. You will get the building blocks that you need in terms of becoming a teacher. Of course, it's recommended that you've had a practice, that you know what yoga is about and what you're going into. And I try to, like, I can't really say, because some people have realized that yoga is their calling 8 months ago, and then they've been practicing every day and are just super dedicated, whereas others might have been practicing on and off for 10 years. So I can't put a timeline to kind of the entry level, like when have you practiced enough? So what we look into is, do you have some kind of prior practice? It doesn't have to be necessarily recent. It can also be like something that you have been attending on and off and lived on and off. And then we look into kind of, there might be other factors to consider. So there's the experience with yoga, but it might also be you have experience with other sports now or earlier in your life, which will kind of tell that you have a body an awareness of kind of the body, how to move it. You might have a general level for kind of your physical capabilities, and it will just basically let us know that there is some kind of muscle memory in terms of actually using the body. And then we also look into, there might be other education and interest that will be supporting factors when you do a yoga teacher training. So if you're, for example, a school teacher, you will know much about communication and how to be with people. And you can use those skills also as a yoga teacher. It might also be that you have been an educated physiotherapist, for example, which will tell us that you know a lot about the body. And so there's many versions to this. It might also be that you are not a school teacher, a physiotherapist, and your history with yoga is not too long. It doesn't mean that you cannot participate. It just means that you will be a bit more of a beginner potentially, and the learning curve can be steeper. In some senses, it can actually, I talked to Kostis about this, it can sometimes be a good thing, because when you're very new to something, you do not have a lot of kind of bad habits built into your, for example, your alignments. So you will be more adaptable in terms of correcting small details. So I hope this gives you kind of an understanding that the requirement is not that you should be able to bend in 1,000 ways and have a great flexibility, or like that's not the requirement. The requirement is that you understand what yoga is about in its like basics, that you have had a practice of some sorts, and then what do you say, your dedication and your curiosity and the energy you put in during the training can take you where you want, right? No matter your starting point. So regardless, it's good to start preparations. And again, if you're a bit newer to yoga, you could decide now, if you sign up for a summer training, that you dedicate yourself until 1st of June, when the self-practice hour starts, for a given number of classes a week, for example, just to get really well into the flow. And then another question is also how to make it all add up, because time is a thing that for many people is a very precious resource that we always feel like we don't have enough of. And I know it can be a worry, like how to fit a training like this, which is like, it is quite intensive, how to fit it into other obligations. So what I can say is that, of course, it will require some time. It will require some dedication. At the same time, there's been put a lot of thought into how are the training days put in. Like I said earlier, when we went through the timetable, there's like there's air bubbles in between all training days. Even in the weekends, you can sleep for long if you want to, or be with your family also in the evening. The weekdays are like normal working day hours, which means that you will have the rest of the day and the evening off, and then a day off. And I think altogether, like it's an intensive program. And of course, if you want to be fully focused on this for 6.5 weeks with no other disturbances, then yes, it will take a lot of your time. But we also know there is life around this, and we have tried to make it possible to have these times in between where you can maybe work if you need to, or you can be with family and friends. You can rest. It's important to rest as well. So yeah, your lives are all different, and so I if you're curious about this or concerned about this, let's have an individual talk about your life situation and if it's a suitable time. Then finally, like I said, the 50 hours of self-practice, we have prolonged into like a 2.5-month period where you can start logging those hours, which gives a bit more room also. The self-practice hours are important, and they are very important because there is the thing about building your physical strength and endurance. This is also one of the gifts you will get during the training, that your physical body, your mental body will learn a lot of things, and it will grow itself stronger day by day. And the self-practice hours supports this. Also, the self-practice hours will deepen your learning and inspire your growth. Seeing different teachers in their role as a teacher will feel a bit different now that you will start to open up and understand what that role is all about. So actually attending classes along the way is just really important, because you will start to pick up on different things, and what do you like and what do you not like, and this will also help you kind of form your identity as a teacher of yoga. Also, it's for you to foster dedication and discipline. So this is also part of yoga, to kind of stay in the practice, and sometimes do it when you don't feel like it. And there will be phases where you might feel like that it would be nice with a break or something. But like, you're putting yourself into this with a dedicated approach, and the self-practice hours will help you build a good habit and help you see the values and the benefits of kind of having these habits. Also, it will help you shape your practice style, as again, you will be picking up different things from different teachers. So why this training, and why have people come to our training for the last 4 years? I've just put it short in bullets, just to give you an understanding of what I'm hearing from the ones that are attending, why they choose YUM, both in the phase then when they are deciding, but also kind of what they have experienced afterwards. So it's a professional setup and dedicated team. It's in English. It's an experienced, mature, and highly competent teacher team. It's important that it has this quality proof with Yoga Alliance for a lot of students. Then it's also chosen because there's a focus on one style, And this is on purpose on our side because we want to provide a very strong backbone to your teaching methodology and your continued growth. And Vinyasa is one of the best styles to actually learn the teacher role, building the sequences, integrating the breath. So this just is a really good foundation, and we want to be able to give the time and space needed for that one style instead of spreading ourselves thin and telling you that you can learn everything at once, because we believe there is some quality lost in that. Then the students have told us that they feel like it's an open-minded space and it's non-preachy and non-hierarchical. Room to be who you are. Then there's, of course, the wonderful location and the yum vibe. And there's the opportunity for social connection with like-minded people. And then there's also kind of these splashes of humor and ballast that kind of softens up the sometimes very like serious parts of the spiritual practice. A few testimonials. Juliane here in the middle is actually a previous student of ours, and she has started teaching now at YUM on a permanent basis. So I'm very happy about that. One of the testimonials is this course made me love yoga even more. I still can't believe I actually did it. I have learned so much in many ways, and I am beyond happy that I took the leap and signed up. Can't wait to the next steps in my yoga teacher journey. And the other one says it's been fun, tough, and transformative. Teachers are competent, administration is available, open and tolerant, staff is great, food is delicious, place is amazing. A perfect start to let the magic in one's life. So, what you get, you should all have received, of course, this webinar access link. But you also got a free section of the YTT manual and this guide that we have made that is called The Essentials of Yoga Teaching. And also you have been provided the opportunity for a free meet and greet and individual session with Studio Manager. That's me. If you sign up, you will, before the training, get the ultimate reading list, which is the one I told about you earlier. So you can start like looking into the books that are part of the resources for the curriculum. And you will be given the option up until, if you sign up now, up until 1st of June for a $2.99 a month membership for unlimited access. Then on 1st of June, your free membership for unlimited access will kick in. During the training, you will get the exclusive manual. You will get the access to book all the classes you want, also aerial yoga, sub yoga, retreat classes, like all of them. You will get a discount we call the soon-to-be teacher discount. It's a 20% discount for the cafe. You will get a Yoga Alliance registered certificate upon satisfactory completion, and also, of course, mentoring throughout the whole phase. After the training, we give you the option if you want to stay with us. We would really love that, and we would like to offer you a cheaper option to continue this growth. So we offer a lifetime access for the studio for free $49 a month for unlimited classes. You also get the option to do freshman classes, and freshman classes are a really important stepping stone if you want to actually start teaching. So this is not obligatory. This is something you can choose and you can coordinate with me. But what we offer is that when you have been given your certificate, you can have a few classes on the schedule that are open for members to book. It's also free and open classes, which means that you can invite friends and family. So we set up an actual class, or maybe two or three on the schedule. And this gives you kind of a safe start to teaching, because sometimes what can happen if you take your training in Bali or somewhere else is that you get home and you don't have connections with the studio, and you might find it hard to kind of coordinate for a session yourself. Here it's like a really easy like onboarding into the teacher role, that you will actually just be able to have a studio, a class with actual members, and you can just start teaching. Then afterwards, if you are interested in actually teaching at YUM specifically, we have many cases of teachers that have finalized the training and have started with lessons. Either they have been substituting to begin with, or they have actually gotten real classes permanently. And this, of course, speaks to the quality of the training, because we would not hire people that are not good enough. And sometimes when you just have finished the training, you might not be to a fully satisfactory level just yet, but I have seen just amazing journeys for the students we have, and this just makes the adding them to the team quite easy actually afterwards. Of course, I can't promise that we will have like an actual class free, but it's just to say that we have many cases where that has been a case. Also, you're provided a guide for your next steps and a follow-up chat with me when you've left the training.